Okay, so this next step is that you are taking this triangle, okay, that you've created your design on. I call it a triangle, it's more of a pie piece. You're creating your design and the thing must be done in pencil, preferably #2 pencil. This is a #2, it just happens to say Nelson Atkins Museum of Art on it, but I did draw my design, okay? Then you're going to take a piece of tissue paper and you're going to lay it over the top of it, which you should have done this in class, and you're going to trace your design onto your tissue paper, okay? I guess you can call this tracing paper, very thin vellum paper. All right, so now it is time to start taking your pattern. This piece of paper you do not need anymore. You can throw it in the trash, okay? Now you're taking your design and you're going to start to transfer it to your wheel, okay? I did some of it already. So I drew my design. Now it's in pencil on side A, on the top side. I am flipping it upside down onto my wheel, okay? And I'm lining it up. If you have any tape at home, it would be a good idea to tape it down, but you do not have to. You can just hold it steady, or maybe even set some heavy objects on it, like cans of vegetables or something like that, cans of beans, to keep it from moving on you. I don't know, that might get in the way, who knows? Something heavy. Your cell phone, maybe your cell phone would work. So you're going to take this now, because I flipped it upside down, and I'm going to trace the design. So with a #2 pencil, again, I'm tracing the design. It is going to take the pencil that's on the back side, okay, and it's going to push it down onto your wheel, onto your big paper. It's going to transfer it on, okay? So I'm going to trace the whole thing, and it's taking the pencil that's on the back side and it's pushing it down. When you first start, it is very light, and then it slowly starts to get darker as you go, because of course you're building up more pencil. You are then going to flip it over and trace. Then you're going to flip it over and trace, okay? Flip it over and trace, and it's going to go all the way around the wheel. Now, if you notice, when you flip it over, you want to match up your pattern. See how my curve here matches up with my curve, okay? And right here, this curve, there's a mirror of it here. If you do not flip it over, you do not have a radial design. Then it's not the assignment. So this is the one that I'm on. I flipped it over. And like I said, as I trace, it's going to start to get darker. And if you look back on some of these, there are spots that barely show, like right here. I can see them. Don't worry about it. Don't spend time tracing it with pencil again. Okay, not necessary. So this is the last one I just traced, right? If I do not flip it over, okay, you're going to flip it over and butt it. But if I don't flip it over, look what happens. My design doesn't match up. Like this little bump doesn't match, okay? That's the radial concept. You're going to go all the way around the circle, okay? It doesn't fit on the camera, okay? I'm about, I don't know, a third of the way around. Then I'm going to take a Sharpie, all right? You have a Sharpie in your kit. This is the fine point Sharpie. I suggest you use the fine point, not the extra fine. You want to be able to see the work that you do. All right, I said earlier, don't trace it again with pencil. This is why. You have to trace it with the Sharpie, okay? So that is when you will start to get your design all cleaned up so that you can see it, okay? And you're going to trace the entire project with your Sharpie. Be neat, be precise, okay? Take your time. I'm looking for those kinds of things. This normally takes 2 weeks in class. So, you know, we've been working at it 2 days. I'm sure it'll take you a little bit longer than that yet. Oops, just made a little mess up. Okay, so you can see that I'm getting this whole entire section done. Super light right there, but I can see it enough to know what I have to trace. A little squiggle right there. I can always refer to my pattern and look at it. Now, a lot of people ask me about these lines, okay? Those lines, are you going to trace it? Or are you not going to trace it? That is completely up to you. It is optional, all right? If you do trace it, you need a straight edge, okay? If you don't have a ruler at home, in your art kit, you should have a piece of cardboard. You can lay that piece of cardboard up against it and outline it. Or grab a folder, okay, something that you can use as a straight edge. Do not try to freehand a perfectly straight line. It'll look like poop, okay? Now, the reason I say optional is if you don't have a whole lot of design, mine's huge. Mine fills my space, okay? If I don't have a whole lot of background, when you paint your background, it's going to flow all the way around your wheel the same color. So if I want to paint, let's say this area here yellow, there's no line here breaking up, so this yellow would continue all throughout my pattern. It is up to you if you want to add that line or not. After you figure out your colors, you could add it later. So, you know, give it a day or two, look at it, and figure out if you want to outline it or not. You can't take it back off if you outline it. All right? So that is the next step. And then pretty soon here, I'm going to show you how to do the color.